Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this live edition of Turnaround Marriage. And we are here to talk about an issue that we believe is usually at the core of any problems in a marriage, and that is the issue of trust. What do you do when trust has been broken? What do you do when you feel like you can't trust the other person, or if you realize that you have contributed to there being a lack of trust in your marriage? How do you get back the trust that you once had? If that describes you, then this is exactly the place you need to be today.
Yes. Hey, everybody. We are Scott and Rachel. We help committed Christian couples finally end the cycles of conflict, negativity, and disconnection and reclaim the love, passion, and playfulness that they once had. And it's our pleasure to walk with private clients of ours. And this issue of trust is a big one.
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, if we don't have trust in a marriage, what in the world do we have, right? And so often what we see with couples is as they start to drift apart or conflict starts to come or the life starts to happen. And then this trust starts to erode away slowly over time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So what do we do?
It's absolutely. I mean, let's just talk about that a minute. So what does that normally look like? It's not like usually one thing that's happened and trust is gone. It does happen sometimes, but usually it's a series. It's an erosion of that trust over time.
Yeah.
And it starts off in the subtlest ways. It starts off with, I just wonder where her heart is. I just wonder what he's doing with his time. Like he said he was going to be home, but he's not. And why does he look like he's always on his phone? Why is he on his computer late at night? Things of that nature are all of those things are leading to mistrust in your marriage. And of course, marriage is supposed to be the place that we can most trust each other, where we can look each other in the eye and know that we've got each other's back, that this is the ultimate team, right? And so what happens is the erosion can happen over time. But often the heart of it will look like this. It will look like a whole tower collapsing. Like it's like if you're attacking the foundation of the building, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, and then the whole thing comes down. That's not always the case, but oftentimes that's what it looks like, where it feels like all trust is out the window. Then what do? Obviously you have to get that trust back again. So how do you get trust back in the relationship again?
Well, I think what we have to do is go back to that slow erosion and understand that it's those little things over time that have been the thing that has slowly eroded your heart away from your spouse. For instance, constantly clicking off of that website as soon as she walks in, constantly hiding your phone as soon as he comes home, figuring out like, how am I spending my time and my energy? It's that innocent conversation at work with that person of the opposite sex who really needs someone to listen to, right? And then the enemy of our soul, he's so good at what he does. He'll just lie and go, it's, they need you. They need to talk to you. They're a lot more able to listen than your husband is. And boy, she really can really understand where you're coming from. Wow. I can really talk shop with her. She's not staying at home with the kids. I have this connection with her at work. And it's like, we start to justify lingering conversations, text messages that are really about work. And then they turn into other things. And then we start to deceive ourselves or allow the enemy to deceive us and say, this is really no big deal, or I deserve to be happy, or nothing's going to happen, right? And we see this over and over again. And then what do we do? We see in the news, like some big Christian ministry, or, someone fell and it was a hard fall and everybody's there to watch and gawk and, put their comments on Facebook. When these stories come up on I don't know if you've seen those, and you see it in the news, you see it's like ad nauseum. We all see it. And it's like, what happened there? What happened? I can guarantee you it wasn't just a one and done thing. It's almost always a slow fade.
It is. It's a slow fade. And what we're talking about is how we're showing up in the marriage and the trust that we have or don't have in the other person, but also it's what we're bringing to the table. So if you're getting to the place where you're realizing that you are not instilling trust or your spouse is not instilling trust in you, that's really a dangerous place to be. It means the tower is about to fall or has, and you guys are in serious trouble. So what do we need to do? We have to remember that we have to build trust. How do we do that? It's earned. It's earned over time. It's like how do you fill a pitcher of water with a water droplet, a little bit at a time. That is how trust is built. It takes time. Like when you were first dating and you first got to know each other, how did you know that it was someone you could trust? How did you know it was someone you'd want to be around? How did you know you'd even want to kiss them? Right? It was built trust. And so when the tower comes crashing down, it has to be rebuilt. And how do we build it? Well, it doesn't look like this. You just need to trust me. Why don't you trust me? You should trust me. That doesn't work. It doesn't work at all, because your actions have not backed up what you said you believed. They've not backed up what you've said. And now what it's going to take are actions, because trust is earned little by little.
Yeah. And in the grand scheme, words mean very little in this situation when trust has been breached, whether it was an emotional affair, a sexual affair, whether it was online, whatever it was. And of course, we can talk about trust, and it doesn't always have to be infidelity. There can be issues of trust around money, right? Have we been spending without, or how are we, what are we doing with our
hiding things?
Yeah, exactly. So the gamut of it, right? I don't know, I just lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry. But what you're saying is it's a plethora of things. We're talking about, like, if you're hiding a bank account, that's a real breach of trust. If you're like just spending a lot of time with somebody after hours at work of the opposite sex, that is a breach of trust. Like, verbal abuse would be a breach of trust. All these things are breaches of trust. And how do we get back out of that? We build it back. So continue on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, I guess the rabbit trail that someone could go on is when you watch these stories and then you start reading the comments. This is how you can really see what the world says about this a breach of trust. She'll never trust him again. If it happened once, it'll happen again. Or throw her out with the dogs. Or how could he? How could he ever? If he did that once, he'll do it again. And and then you see these lies from the world or from the enemy, and it's like, just because trust has been breached does not mean it cannot be rebuilt. And so that's a big lie of the enemy, is that if she did it once, she'll do it again. Or if you can't, if he can't be trusted for this, then you can't trust him for that. It's like, how about we learn how to build the bridge of trust? Both of us together. It's like building a bridge. It's like we each have to build toward each other in mutual understanding, mutual give and take, and basically trust and see. Prove it, right? Prove it by what you're doing. That's whether you're hiding something or not. And then trust can be rebuilt.
Absolutely.
Over time.
It can be. And it does. Exactly. It's built over time. And so, it takes consistency. It takes every single day. It's the little things that make all the difference. It's the text messages. It's the reassuring phone calls. It is the thoughts about the other person. It is connectedness in talking at the end of the day and sharing where your heart is. It's looking each other in the eye. It's having date nights. I mean, every little thing that you're doing is rebuilding trust if you're being intentional. And remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, just like rebuilding trust isn't necessarily built in a day. But every day that you're making progress is a good day. And every day you're making progress, you look back and say, wow, we've come somewhere. We've made some progress here. Not being intentional, letting days go by without making any changes can be really also sowing distrust. So what we're saying is, and what we teach our clients to do, is when they start building back that trust, and if they're really showing that they're owning their mistakes and they're seeking to change, and they're really trying to be all in with the other person and trying to be very intentional, I'm here to tell you that these investments, though it takes time, these investments can pay dividends quickly, way more than you would realize, if you are investing properly in making those shifts and changes. So yes, it's going to take time. And what will it look like in a month? A whole lot better. What will it look like in a year? A lot better than now. What will it be in 10 years? Hopefully amazing compared to now. But will you be done building trust? Of course not, because you want marriage to be this beautiful place of belonging and safety where you can look in each other's eyes and know, is everything okay? I can see it in your eyes. That's what real trust is, what we're talking about. Here. It's not just, I wonder if she's cheating on me today. It is everything okay? Yeah. Are you okay? Am I meeting your needs? That's what trust is.
Because you can sense when something is off. And I think what a lot of couples do is they tend to put their blinders on and they don't listen or pay attention to the signs. And they
Yep.
go, well, it must be she's just tired, or he just started his new job, or it's just been a really stressful, or the COVID thing has just got us crazy, or, and we can sort of justify that. It's like, if things are not right and you feel like the trust is starting to wobble, you really need to start paying close attention. Or if you have been starting to believe some of those lies, like, well, it's no big deal, or we're just having a conversation over here with this. It doesn't mean anything, or you feel this attraction to somebody else, and it's like, instead of having alarm bells go off and really steer yourself away, you're finding excuses to put on your makeup or put on your cologne, or look your best when they're around.
Ever.
No, you don't.
No.
I appreciate that. I prefer you to smell like soap, but anyway.
well, trust is like a foundation. It really is. And what is that foundation? Is it sand? Like when that tower came down, what were you building that tower on? What did it look like? And guys, you need to hear this. Women especially need their husbands to be a rock for them. They need to know that they are safe with their husband. Men need it too, but especially this way. When a man is a rock for his wife, that is so affirming and confirming and strengthening to you, to know that you can depend upon me, that I'm not hiding my conversations on my phone. You can look at my phone. There's no question. There's no hidden agenda here. And so I will often say, men, you need to be the rock for your wife, but you are the rock who is putting yourself on the rock. So, for example, Luke 6:46 tells us, Jesus says, everyone who comes to me and hears my words and does them, I will show you what he is like. I can't read it. What he is like. He is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid the foundation on the rock, and the floods rose and the streams broke against the house and it shook, but it didn't fall down, because our hope and our strength is on the person of Jesus Christ. But the fool builds his house on sand. The fool builds their marriage on romance, on just love and feelings and affection. But the real foundation you need is the person of Jesus. And when he is the rock, we are rocks strengthened by him. So we're building that tower back with the sure foundation of Jesus. We fail, but we're on the rock who does not fail.
Amen. Yeah. And when trust has been breached, and when one of you have allowed your heart or your body or whatever to drift, to go down the road of infidelity, or like I said, whether it's any type of infidelity, what your spouse does not need to hear is, well, I'm sorry. Well, I said, I'm sorry. It's like,
I've tried that, Rachel.
My daughter does that sometimes. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. It's like, no, you're not. Okay. But here's the thing. What we see in scripture, when someone is truly repentant and truly owning their sin, they do not excuse it. They do not dismiss it. They do not rationalize it. They take total ownership over their sin. They take total ownership, and you'll see godly sorrow. Yes. You'll see repentance, and you will see a turning away, because what trust is not is, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to do it again. And I'm just going to keep doing it again.
Sorry, I'm really going to try.
I'm going to try. And then I'm just turn around and do it right there. Yeah. It's like, so as you build trust, you want to look for that. You want to look for that godly sorrow. You want to look for that repentance, for that turning. And if that is, and if you're the one, boy, you better pray to God that he is helping you to own your sin and to truly turn from it, and to stop rationalizing it, stop justifying it and saying, well, it's not a big deal. Well, I deserve it. Well, she's so this or he's so that. And, it's like, you want to see that total ownership and that godly sorrow.
Absolutely.
As a foundation for building the trust back.
And it also means that you understand what you did. And that's a way to build that trust back again. And so what we want to make sure you're understanding is that you're trying to show and prove that you're safe.
Yes.
And you're trying to operate in that. You're trying to live that out yourself. But it's very possible that if it's, alcohol abuse or other things, that if there are problems, pornography addiction, things of this nature, you're going to be saying I'm safe, but not backing it up with your actions. And that's why just working on your marriage or just working on yourself is not enough. You need to be working on yourself and the marriage at the exact same time. And as you're trying to build that trust, you are trying to elevate. building yourself upon the rock, getting stronger in him, getting the right tools in place and the right accountability in place so that you can elevate to be the man that God has called you to be, so that you can elevate and be the woman that God has called you to be. And that is the recipe for building trust again. It's not just I'm sorry and saying the words and buying your wife a gift or saying I'm really, really, really sorry. It is elevating and living in a different space of building that trust. And we're here to tell you, even if there has been infidelity, even if there has been past sins and broken trust of various different types, it can be rebuilt. Not doing it the same way you've done it, but doing it completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So many of you out there might be thinking, okay, this sounds good. Where do I even begin? Right? It might be even a scary, daunting thought. What would you say?
Yeah. For many of you, if you've gone down the path of infidelity, you very, very likely need some outside support, because that can of worms is so messy. And to untangle that mess and put it back and start really building the foundation of trust, you're going to need outside support. Guys, if you're having trouble sleeping at night, if you are noticing that your health is starting to deteriorate, if the stress of keeping secrets and wondering if she's going to find out, if he's going to know, is really starting to aggravate you, and you're starting to notice nightmares or palpitations in your heart, or anxiety attacks, panic attacks, whatever. If you're starting to feel it in your physical body, it's time to reach out. It's time to reach out before you go too far, or if you've already gone that far. It's time to own it. I'm telling you, when you hide in the secrets, and when you hide in mistrust and in sin, that's where shame, and that's where blame, and that's where the enemy has his heyday, and that's where he can hide you and keep you away and keep you isolated from the people who love you and care about you, and keep you isolated and separate from healing and restoration. So we're here to tell you, like, if you're finding yourself in this situation, it is time to reach out, whether you are tinkering on the edge and you've been kind of playing with fire, or you've already gone there. I'm telling you, the truth will set you free.
That's true.
Okay. It will set you free, because hiding in lies and in shame is no way to live. And it's going to destroy you inside and out if you don't do something.
It's very true. And, there's a lot of people out there that, especially when that trust has been broken and they don't know what to do. It's like they know what they need for trust to be rebuilt, but they recognize their spouse needs something very different than what they know how to give. Yeah. And that a lot of times are the people that come to us wanting to know, like, what is it that my wife most needs? I thought I knew. I know what I need, but I don't know how to give to them. I don't know how to rebuild that trust with them specifically. And that's exactly when you also need help, because you do need an expert that's going to help you to navigate some of those challenges. Because newsflash, there is a difference between men and women. We are different biologically. We are different in the way we think. We're different in the way we act. And that's the way God designed it. So of course we're going to think differently than the other person. And if you're in that place and you realize you've broken trust, or that things are not the way that they should be, and you don't know how to build it back with them, that's exactly when you do need outside help to give you the right tools, to give you the right information, the right training, the right accountability, and really to help you to navigate specifically, not just women in general or men in general, but specifically in your situation with the person you're uniquely married to. That's exactly when you can use outside help. And so if that's any of you out there, or even you're just realizing, I'm so frustrated, everything we're trying isn't working, and it just feels like you're beating your head against the wall, you're trying to build that tower only for it to keep getting knocked over again. It's like the rains come, COVID comes, and it keeps crashing back down. That's exactly when you guys would probably need outside help. And we're here for many people to do a free breakthrough call to find out where you guys are at, to get you clarity on what's not working and what you hope things could be, and then a pathway to getting there. And if we can help, we'll absolutely make that clear. All you have to do is go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call, pick a time that works for you, fill out a short questionnaire. And guys, this could be the best 45 minutes you've ever invested in your marriage. And so again, all you have to do is come with a willing heart, and we'll get clarity about that and talk about it, what it might look like.
Yeah. And just to give you some encouragement and hope, there is hope for your marriage if there's been a breach in trust. Like, there is a path of healing forward. Restoration is possible. Reconciliation is possible. Forgiveness is possible. Healing is possible. whether you end up staying married or not, like there is healing for you. Okay. So we're here to just tell you, do not believe the lies of the enemy. Well, she didn't. It'll always be this way. We can't build trust, right? Don't believe the lies, because trust can be rebuilt when you've got total ownership and you've got broken and contrite hearts before the Lord.
Yes.
And the ability to forgive. And so we're telling you, we're here for you. We're here to help you. We're here to offer you that hope. So if that's you, go to turnaroundmarriage.com/call, and it'll be the best hour you spent working on your marriage.
Absolutely. Guys, we hope that encourages you, blesses you, and really gets you down that path to rebuilding trust, building trust, rebuilding trust, whatever it would be. It's worth the investment every single day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Your marriage isn't either, but it is worth the investment every step of the way. God bless you guys. Hope that you have a great, awesome day.
Bye-bye.